235 people.
235 people where?
That's what it said.
Damn, 235 people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hot as hell. It's a Saturday. You know, most people do things on Saturday. Well, if you can't be in the... Can I get the freaking... It's hot. It's Saturday. Ain't nobody online.
Never know. My thing just came on.
What?
And my TV just came on. Where'd they go? What people's watching?
They're talking about me.
Islam, everybody.
I'm hot, yo. I can't be on the camera. I'm like flashing. Can you open the door? Please.
Mm-mm.
All right, well, then can you turn the fan on? No to that either? No?
I don't care what you do.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Islam,
everyone. How y'all doing? We're on here today because
it's hot.
We have been staying quiet for reasons. Trying to get the work done so that the Moors don't have to do as much work. Y'all can follow the templates and, you know, get what you need to be done. So, since the new year has came in, we've been getting emails and just blatant disrespectful emails. I'm gonna put it like that. And it's time for it to stop. I don't even know how to put this.
I know how to put it. Islam Moors, please share this feed to other Moors, because this is a public announcement as it relates to
setting the record straight.
Setting the record straight and letting you know that there is a difference. There is absolutely a difference between a Moorish merchant and a Moorish government and a organizations that has been incorporated, which would be considered a Moorish merchant. And we need to know what that means. What is a merchant? What is a Moorish merchant? What is a regular incorporated entity? And what is an actual government? Right? Because Moors need to know what sovereignty means, and most Moors do not know what that means. And what that means is that you are not so attached to any or established under the jurisdiction of any, let's say, service corporation or any so-called foreign entity. Now, Moors won't express that. They really don't understand the difference.
No.
And they won't express that. They want to have a debate with you as it relates to how you've structured your government, because this is a government, because that's what we declared. We did not... Go ahead, Fatima.
Or they want to have a debate with you about your own personal business, which is none of their business at the same time. Go ahead.
Islam. So, I definitely want you guys to share this out. I'm trying to get... It's because it's Saturday and nobody's on social media on Saturdays. Nobody literally is on social media on Saturdays. We don't normally do Facebook Lives anymore. I was like, so... they need a catch up, because normally on Saturdays at 1 o'clock we would be on this social platform talking to you more about nationality.
It's 1:19.
And it's 1:19. Isn't that funny that this is actually the time that we came on? And one thing that you have to understand is that Moors who identified as Negro, colored, and black have been disenfranchised under this so-called corporate United States of America. Why is that? The Dred Scott case gives you the best example of why that is reality for a lot of our Moors. But in addition to that, how we are infighting with ourselves. Like, I think it's funny. No, I don't think it's funny. I think it's sad, actually. How Moors who are either compromised, I would say most of them are compromised, because the realities are, if you feel as though something that we over here as the government is doing is in error, well, state what you think that we are doing, which is erroneous, as well as what is your alternative, or what is your suggestion as it relates to how we should align ourselves? And we have to also understand that most of our sons, as well as our daughters, but we're going to really push this to the sons because it's usually just the sons that are making these presumptions. Right? It is a lot of our sons who've been, I guess, for the lack of a better way of expressing this, took their street hustle to their Moorish nation. So now you have a lot of sons that want to pimp their own nation, right? Because a lot of our sons have established themselves as so-called secure party creditors outside of nationality in order to create a security for themselves, but they have not created a security for themselves. And a lot of our Moorish sons won't even express the realities that they are compromised. And they have master still, let's say that, they have master still, and they have to comply to that. So a lot of the negativity that we're experiencing, not only as Moorish merchants, but as the Moorish government, is because a lot of our sons are compromised. And they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to realize that you should be vetting them. Whenever you're considering nationalizing, you need to vet that so-called Moorish merchant and finding out as it relates to, well, how did they organize themselves? Well, did they incorporate? Well, are they a so-called a religious organization only there to teach you about nationality, but not necessarily with the actually authority to actually grant it? You need to know the difference between those things, Moors. And I know it's Saturday, and Moors are not used to me coming on the platform, and I'm not necessarily used to doing it anymore. I was like, because I need to stop, one, the negativity, but also the gross incompetence of our brothers and our sisters. And realizing that it takes more than just a document that says that you are a Moorish American national. It's more involved than just that. And it's not necessarily the secure party creditor aspect. That's not right. What it is. That is Albion's processes as they related to trying to get outside of this corporate infrastructure that they themselves are a reason to exist. They know that. So they're trying to get outside of that corporation, and Moors, as always, trying to follow. Always following after the Albions, not necessarily understanding that the Albions' status is defective and yours is defective only because you choose it to be defective.
Islam. In the Hotep.
I thought you was about to say something.
No, go ahead.
So, what can I say? The website is a manifestation of the gross neglect, the gross ignorance, the gross misrepresentation of our Moorish merchants out there who are only really concerned with taking care of themselves. Right?
Where their next dime gonna come from?
To clear their mortgages, to clear their car notes and different things like that, and they're pumping you, and they're utilizing us. Why? Because that's what they've been doing when they was on the street hustle too. Mm-hmm. On the street hustle, who was they selling to? Who were they selling to? What neighborhoods were being destroyed by crack, cocaine, and all of these other so-called illegal substances? Who?
Ours.
Right? And I posted a feed on the website, and that feed said, stop trying to blame the Albions for the disgusting state of the societies the Asiatics live in, because it's a direct reflection of those people who live within that society. Right? We want to sit here and act like the Albions. We don't need other businesses to come in to rejuvenate and revitalize our own neighborhoods. We need to care. And we need to come together and do those things and stop only time you want to invite a so-called official into your situation is when you want your consorts, or you have domestic violence type issues. So you'll call the policy enforcers in that regards, but then when you invite them in, now you want them to go, but you already invited them in.
And they ain't going nowhere.
And they ain't going nowhere. Because you have to learn how to live allotedly off of your estate, and you can't keep blaming them for violating you because your ignorances are violating you. thinking that all you have to do is complete tier 1 and only half of tier 1 through nationality. I see you, Fatima. Through nationality. You think all you got to do is declare and proclaim your nationality and that's it. No, contract law, trust law, agreements, don't, as well as the treaty doesn't say that. You got to do more than that. And if you declare yourself as an incorporated entity, well, you nullified your ability to even grant titles of nobility. Constitution, that's what you're subject to yourselves to through the incorporations, through the charters that you decided to establish your organization. That's why I say articles of organization. Find out, do they have an articles of organization? And that article of organization is going to tell you, okay, if it was incorporated, which state it was incorporated, and the file number for that incorporation.
Yep.
And Moors don't even understand. All they have to do to fix their deficiency in their application as it relates to their organization of their so-called, whatever they want to call it, because they're not calling it government. Noble Drew Ali didn't even call his Moorish Science Temple of America a government. He said it was a what, Fatima? You give that information. What did Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that he established the Moorish Science Temple of America to do? What did he establish it for?
Why are you trying to put me on the spot?
Because you be knowing all this stuff.
Keep going. You doing
He
good.
established it to do what? Teach Moors to be themselves.
Not only that.
It was a teaching organism to teach you about nationality, but it never had the ability, based on how it was structured, to actually grant it.
Nationality, exactly. And it says it right here.
And it says it right in the bylaws.
On.
And that's why I wanted you to pull it out. I wanted you to pull out the bylaws.
It says it right here. Now, this is old, y'all, okay? This is something I got back in the day. I don't know. Y'all probably have it now, but this is what it is. I know y'all got it. Okay? But it says.
Maybe we need to read all 7.
Maybe
we need to go through that whole Moorish Science Temple of America document. Because Prophet Noble Drew Ali came here to teach us to love instead of hate. And unfortunately, our people hate themselves.
Yeah, apparently.
Hate themselves to the point where they can't even have an intellectual conversation without being personally attacking and derogatory. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does that say? We're going to read all of it. Read it, Fatima.
So Act 1. Here we go. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the chairman of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. The assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the members of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. So that's Act 1. Act 2. All meetings are to be open, closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on Friday the first man was formed from the flesh, and on Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto the Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Okay? Act 3 states, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. No members is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brothers or sisters on any occasion at all that may harm his brothers or sisters, because Allah is love. I wish we got that love today when we got that phone call. Okay, so Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live that life accordingly. That's Act 4. Act 5.
Read Act 4 again.
All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly.
Now, understand this, Morris. He didn't say the United States of America. He said the government. That's what he said. Does everybody know what government means? The government. What is the government? Right? Go ahead, continue.
It says Act 5. The organization of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science is not to cause any confusion over or to overthrow the laws and constitution of said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because the names were given to the slaves by the slave holders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government which they live in, the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become part and parcel of the uplifting acts of the Moorish Holy Science, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Members must pay their dues and keep in lines with all necessities. Excuse me. Necessities, where I leave that. Necessities of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Then you are entitled to name the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children, and wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of the household. Sons, daughters must obey their fathers and mothers and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure of love and their bodies clean with water. This is divine covenant from the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali through the guidance of the Godfather Allah. Moorish American prayer. It says, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation by night and by day through the Holy Prophet Drew Ali. Ameen.
Ameen. It's long.
That's all 7.
It's on, Morris. Now let's talk about what it said. What did it say? What were the key parts that it expressed? I mean, since, y'all want to provoke me and us into a Facebook Live. What does it say?
Girl, go sit down.
What did it say? This was a civic organization, right? This organization of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government. Now, when we talk about government, we ain't talking about the service corporation, because that is not the government. Can we understand that aspect? That the United States Service Corporation is actually a corporation here to provide stipulated services for the American people, the Moroccan people. America means Morocco, right? You, me. That's what it was established for, right? To provide stipulated services based on what service contract? What contract was it supposed to be abiding by? To provide those stipulated services based on their own constitution that they created to establish it. The Constitution, even if it says of the United States of America, it's mapped identical with the exception of minor words that differentiate it from it, right? So when we talk about it was here, it is here. to provide stipulated services to the American people, to the Moors, right? Because America is a current modern term to represent the Moroccan Empire. So just like Indians was substituted for Moors, so you wouldn't know what Moors was substituted for Indian.
There you go.
So whenever they're saying Indian in any of their documents, they're referring to Moors. Mm-hmm. Because they have been keeping the light burning, let's say, as the gatekeepers, because Moors left their nationality, left their government in order to play the monopoly game. By calling themselves Negro, colored, black, African American, Ethiopian, etc. The list keeps going on. Right? Because Moors don't want to sit down and study and learn the things that they need to learn. They don't want to do the spiritual work that is necessary. That spiritual work I'm talking about is your spirit and your energy. And all these Moors claiming to be for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, but don't know what that means. Because if you love me, you're gonna tell the truth. And you're going to come in honor and not in disobedience. And you're going to come through the front door, not trying to shoot down the chimney, for the lack of a better word. And we have classes every Tuesday to try to give you the energy and the information that you need. But you have to want to take it. You have to want to grow. And you can't use your emotional state and any things that are going on with you right now as a justification for why you are acting in dishonor, in disrespectful. Right? We answer that phone all the time, all day, these emails all day, where other Moorish merchants who took your money and then stopped answering the phone, now you're coming this way because you completed your documents and they were done by a Moorish merchant versus a Moorish government. And as we gain knowledge, because when I started, like many of you, I started through a Moorish merchant who claimed to be a Moorish government, but that's not how they structured themselves. Entering Moors all over the country, talking about, all you got to do is declare and claim your nationality and do adverse claims. Well, it's more than that. Mm-hmm. That's just the start of your due process as it relates to your administrative procedures when you claim your estate, but you got to claim it, Moors. And you can only do that one way. Through your declaration. Through you knowing that the service corporation are administering your estate because you've abandoned it and you've never claimed it. And because of all of these other Moorish merchants out there telling you not to do this, not to do that. And they can't validate why they're saying anything that they're saying. Or yes, they can. You just don't know their agents. And understand that many of our brothers and sisters have bitten that apple. Decided to be mercenaries, decided to be agents against, because that's their only way of seeing how to take care of themselves, not realizing they have to claim their estate. And that secure party creditor aspect of it is just a piece of it. And it's not giving you the truth. Because an Albion can file those paperwork just like you can. Guess what? They don't have no estate. Where's their estate? What is their estate? You are. They're on your backs, telling you about, giving you specific little information, you Moorish merchants out there, to do specific things, to create schisms. So you got all these people claiming to be under the Moorish American consulate.
Go sit down.
Well, the original Moorish American consulate was literally... And what we did over here, me and Fatima, the two justices that's operating... Supreme Justices that's operating this government, decided to disassociate ourselves from the original Moorish American consulate because of what they were agreeing to do.
That's right. And that's deceive,
which was outside of law.
And that was to deceive the Moors.
To deceive the Moors and create schisms, because there's no reason for you to be creating your own language or creating a different format as it relates to nationality documents. That was fraudulent, that was treasonous, and it was against law.
It's egregious also.
And egregious. And it doesn't matter if 20 out of let's say 50 individuals, 20 out of 25 individuals say, oh yeah, we agree. No. If it's not in harmony with law, it doesn't stand. No matter how many people agree to do it. We didn't agree to do that. That's why we left. That's why we created that's why we distance ourselves from the other Moorish American consulates, because they feel as though you can just vote some stuff in and then that's just what it is. Well, if it's outside of law, just like for the Constitution, just like for the trust, it's null and void. It's null and void for the Service Corporation. It is also null and void for Moors. But y'all have to stand up and stop allowing people to bully you into decisions. And stand on love, truth. Truth. Stand on that. And don't let people bully you into a decision that nullified your whole activity. And understand that most Moors that look like you ain't got your best interest at heart. Because when you think about you specifically, when you go to those POW camps, none of them answer the phone.
No, they don't. But
you got to stand on what you know.
But we're here at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning answering phones when people are stopped on the side of the road. You know? They don't call, well, they call them, but they don't answer. But they call us, and we're right there. We're answering the phones. We're helping them out.
To tell them.
Keeping them calm.
That's all.
Stand on your square.
Yep.
You understand? This ain't no rodeo. It's not the first time. It's not going to be the last. We got to become more competent in knowing things and the truth of things before we run our mouths and stop talking rhetoric and thinking your rhetoric that you're talking is truth. Stop that, Moors. It's crazy.
And it's clubism nonsense. We like to be around people we like, but it's about not only liking that individual, but that individual talking love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And we got to stop sitting here acting like, oh, we on the 5 pillars of light, but yet everything we doing is showing the opposite. Right? Because we're getting attacked by individuals in those temples. Don't realize
they ain't supposed to be in no temples. Now, this is what it says in the Constitution. Y'all want to talk about the Constitutions? It says the Moors. We Moors.
You keep moving.
I move. It says we Moors, the Bays and the L's, must never attempt to teach a lecture in the Christian institutions, namely church, temple, mosque, school, or hall. This is a violation of the Union Society states. Right. Magna Carta Code of the Mary and Christ. The truth of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, law, and moral human principle definitely conflicts with the Christian Union customs and doctrines of the Magna Charta from every angle. So if you hear somebody say, oh, we got charter.
That means permission.
Okay. So, nor do not criticize the white people's beliefs in their religion and their son and woman image. Nor do not ever attempt to influence the white people to accept the moral truth and the principles of the 12 signs of the Zodiac law, Zodiac constitutional law, because the Magna Charta is a Latin phrase meaning magnet charter of the white people's economic and social attraction, only which had its beginning in the colonies of Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana and Illinois in 1848 and 1854, and will end in 1954. Wa alaikum salam, Moorish Latin, which means, with you be peace, Islam. The lawmakers of the 50 Union States of North America should attempt to ignore the Moorish American Zodiac law and birthrights of this Constitution. It would be an act of supreme violation of their own Magna Charta Code. So with that being said, we ain't supposed to be having no Magna Charters. We ain't supposed to have no charters.
Especially from them.
Okay?
And the Union States.
So, I mean, y'all can go and pull this up. Y'all can go to the Library of Congress and get a copy of it if you want. It's there. This is it. This is the whole, I got the whole thing. The whole Constitution and bylaws from the Library of Congress where they filed it.
Yep. And y'all got to understand what the Library of Congress is.
A library.
It's a library of documents that people submitted for validation. Let's say. So when they pass or when things happen, they have a true copy of what was presented based on what was filed only. It's only a filing system of the so-called Congress of people, right? Anybody can file there. Anybody can file there. That's where all the books get filed. It's called Copyright Office almost. It's literally, if you want to give it a basic terminology, the Library of Congress is where everybody should file the documents to validate they created that document. And it stands there. It's there forever. Right? So when you go and submit your documents to the Library of Congress, you're recording it just like you would do with the county and just like you would do with the so-called corporate state. It's the same thing. You get a file number. It's called LOC file number, right? It's you, Moors, in your sovereign capacity that's declaring that. And sons, you can't create no government, no matter how much you may think you can. You can't. Has to be the matriarch that establishes it. That's in alignment with nature's law, if you want to be in alignment with nature's law. And when we talk about the word man, that is not exclusive to the male species.
Sure enough ain't.
Man is both masculine and feminine energy. It is not making a distinction. The people that make that distinction are you for your own personal gains. Because it ain't talking about a man. And when they talk about father, well, what's the etymology of father?
Her.
It's a woman. A woman created all things. Men are subject to women. And if you think a man can create a society, well, good luck with that. It'll be done by the time that man dies. Because nothing is created from him. It's created by the woman. Life starts by the woman. So too do government. Because a man can't do nothing without the directives he gets from his mama. And those directives starts in the womb.
And the administrator.
And the administrator. So you got to fix the sin your mom put you in. Your mom gave authority of your estate over to the counties. That's why you got to do the name change decree. That's why you're doing it. Because when your mother had you in a hospital, she signed a document giving them authority to establish that trust. And guess what they did? They did that. They established a trust with the state. And guess what happened? She never claimed it.
They put it in the newspaper.
And she
said, "Oh my gosh."
She was happy it was there.
They put my name in the newspaper.
When they were asking her to claim you.
Get out of here.
They put it in there as so-called abandoned lands. Who's going to claim this? Who's going to claim it? You never claimed it because when we sit here wanting to go by all these so-called male leaders of our people, they never tell you the truth. Because majority of them, all of them, were Masons. Took an oath never to tell the truth. And these are your sons and daughters doing this to you. Your sons and daughters sitting here violating their own code, their own culture, calling you an occult. Well, yeah, you're a culture. You don't have one. I do. So I take that in honor and the respect that you thought you were given in disrespect. But you're ignorant. You don't even know how to read.
Okay, Antoine, what is the root word of Allah?
Allah.
Come on now.
Any other questions?
And father does
law.
not mean woman or her. Look at the fat in her. Break it up, brother. What's the ending 3 letters? Her, right? You're doing
We're
etymology.
talking about etymology, the root of that word.
Come on now.
What's the root of father? Father. Her. She's the root. Her. H-E-R.
They ain't got nothing to do with man.
And science tells you this. So too does law. So too does nature. Guess what? That's why Asiatics are in the predicament they're in, because they're in controversy with their own nature.
And anytime you see at the end of the word,
feminine.
That's feminine. So come on. You got to do etymology.
And you got to stop warring against your mothers. Yeah, your mothers put you in sin by the way she created you and cast you out to sea. But some of you sons probably deserve to be cast out to sea. And I'm just going to say that because I'm a Sag and I'm going to tell the truth. No matter how you may feel about what words are coming out of my mouth. Because I'm tired of y'all sitting here trying to act like, you sons sitting here trying to act like you run something. Every so-called son out there trying to claim that he's running something. Nope, you're doing what your mom told you to do. And you're just not in harmony with that.
It's time to get over the male chauvinism.
It ain't been working for you.
Got to get over it. That's
Think
why the
about
world
that.
is in the calamity.
It ain't been working for you, sons. If you're in control of something, why are you not in control of anything? Don't get mad at me. I'm stating the obvious. A lot of you sons are scared. You live in fear. Guess where you got it from? Guess where you got the fear from? We gave it to you when we had you. We gave you that fear. We gave you that lack of power. Why do we do that? Why? We can talk about that for the next 1500 years, because when we think about history, what do they show you in all these history books? Sons.
All about the sons.
Sons. You don't see no matriarchal figures. None.
Yeah, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You see the ones that they made up about the ones sitting on the back of the bus. Because, you know.
No, I'm talking about.
I understand what you're talking about, but I'm just making a general thing about this. You know what I'm saying? You have those ones that's sitting on the back of the bus. You know what I mean? She didn't want to get up.
A pawn. She was a pawn.
She didn't want to get up. So they made a big stink about it.
And she wasn't the first to do it.
Man.
She wasn't even the first to do that. Right? I was like, our sons are so mad. They're so mad. Why? Because of your own actions. Y'all want these lives, these fake lives that so-called Eastern Islam has given you, with the multiple wives and all of the nonsense that y'all want to live to try to sit here and try to make yourselves feel special. You're not special. You're our sons, and you're supposed to be protecting mother, and you're doing none of that. So you're in dishonor automatically from the door. You can't be honest. You can't be direct, and you can't come with nobility. The first thing you want to come is attacking on emails.
Yes.
Well, I'm fired. I don't care about your text, because I know that comes from a low place, from an insecure, coward son. I already know where that comes from. So you're not hurting me at all. Know this when I say this.
But I'm the one that will dig in your ass for all your little comments, because I'll go piece by piece and just smash them all. So you can come at me if you want to. I'm an open book. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be out here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we don't do this because we have to. We do this because we have to. Because we looked outside and we saw what was not right. We saw what was not true. We don't realize the sin we're in as people. You won't start realizing that until you start talking to Moors and you would just realize majority of them just want your money.
Not what we want.
And they won't answer their phone. We'll tell you. The first thing I ask is, what's your appellation and what's your MAC number? How did you nationalize? What Moorish merchant did you go through that that didn't have the commissioning to nationalize you? We don't have a problem with other so-called Moorish merchants providing that service, but get commission from a government to do so. We can't accept those documents no more, because as we gain knowledge, and we learn the things.
Grandma be cussing at work.
And we learn the things that we need to learn, we're supposed to elevate. We're supposed to come to a different level of existence. Not sitting here trying to keep doing the same thing 40 years ago that ain't never did nothing for you, Moors. If you're sitting here talking to somebody who's been in this game for 40, 30 years and they got nothing to show for it, besides sending you to a Moorish merchant where you can sit here and buy all these things, but get nothing in return. We put that stuff on the website on purpose so you don't have to call us and say, okay, but we're here to support you as the mothers we are. But when you get me on the phone versus Fatima, you're going to get different stuff. Mm-hmm. Fatima's going to be the mother, the nurturer, and Yeshura's going to be like, well, who told you to do that?
Well, until you piss me off, then you get raw, Fati.
Our people, as soon as they declare and proclaim their nationality, they want to challenge every contract out there. Well, you're not ready to challenge it because you don't even have access to your estate yet because you didn't claim it yet. Mm-hmm. So you do look like a sovereign citizen, because on one side you're a sovereign on the private side, but on the public side you're still a citizen under their jurisdiction because you didn't do the name change decree in the first tier. And I know why many of you don't want to do it, because it's scary and you hate going into those tribunals. Understand that those are your buildings and those are your services, and those Albions are indentured servants and they have to do their job. They just know, a lot of y'all just woke up and y'all don't know. A lot of y'all are, have that fear and that negativity, that negative experience through them. So they do all that on purpose so you won't feel comfortable coming into those doors to provide this, to get the stipulated services that you provided for. Because every time that you historically were going in there was to defend yourself from some traffic ticket, some civil or criminal charge that was brought up against them, because they have access to your estate.
And they can pull it anytime they want.
Anytime they want. And if you don't know the law, or you don't know the administrative procedures to stop them from doing the things that they're going to do to you, they're going to continue to do it. And until we get our stuff together, and until we stop acting like we the boss and our egos and our prides get involved, and we sit here wanting to prop up our sons, when our sons need to sit down, literally sit down. Because y'all had control for how long? And where have we gotten with that control? Please explain that, and please be in honor when you explain that y'all been in control for how long, and what do we have to show for it, Morse? Seriously.
And we ain't sitting here talking about it. You can talk till you blue in the face, but when's the action going to happen? You get mad when we, as a whole, as a government, are starting to do things that you should have done when we first met you back in 2000. You know what I'm saying? So now you're getting mad because we've had enough. Enough is enough. Now it's time to do things. We've done them. And you're upset? That's your fault. I can't hold your hand. I'm not going to hold your hand. Do what's there to be done so you can make yourself free. I'm so tired of hearing, I only had to pay $25 for my rent. I stopped paying my rent because Light said we can live for free, and I don't care. And now they trying to evict me from my place. What can I do? Did you do all your tears? No, I just did my nationality. I thought that was all I had to do. No, that's not all you have to do. You got to finish it all. Well, it's not fair that I got to get out my house, and I called and nobody picked up the phone. Okay, so what you want me to help you do? That's my question. If you're not willing to help yourself, well, what you have to do to keep a roof over your head, something's not right. Something not right. The grid is there to help. As a whole, everybody in my household, including Yesharin and her children, have completed the grids. We completed the grid, y'all. We got the name change. We did all the administrative processes. We're living good now. Follow the grid. It's there to help you. I'm going to tell y'all. I got pulled over about 2 months ago. December?
It was December.
Yeah, December. Got pulled over in December. They gave me a ticket for non-registered car. Informed them that the car was, the conveyance was registered to the trust. Now, with the conveyance being registered to the trust, they can't touch the conveyance. Okay, I know that. He knew that. He knew it when he went behind the cars, not behind my car, but behind the patrol car. And they told him they don't want nothing to do with it. You do what you do, bro. We don't want no parts. Well, just because I saw your tag when you went by, all of y'all got brought up in that same thing. The 13th of January was the court date. It is now the 22nd of January, and I ain't heard from that court. You know why? Articles of organization. I carry them in my conveyance. I carry the right to travel documents in the conveyance. Showed them. Gave them. Told him to take him on back to the squad car and read him. The one patrolman says, have a nice day, Miss Bay. The other one's still fishing. What was your name at birth? I said, I gave it to you. He says, well, you didn't have another name at birth? I said, I gave it to you.
And you need to know why they're asking that, too.
Okay? I said, well, you can't administer something that's not there, can you? Like that. He just looked at me like I was crazy. My sister turned around and looked at me like I was crazy also. But come on. You can't administer that. I didn't give you a permission to administer that estate.
As the authorized representatives that you are.
So, with that being said, you can say whatever you want to say, brother. At the end of the day, give me what you're going to give me, because I'm going to rebut it anyway. And I'm going to send it back to you. You're getting a lien.
Yes.
And then, not only are you getting a lien, your station is getting a lien, the chief is getting a lien, and your mama is getting a lien because we found out where you lived. So with that being said, come on. Finish the grid.
And stop being scared.
I haven't gotten anything.
Because there's nothing to get. Because when you declare and proclaim your nationality and you claim your estate, when you claim your estate, that means you're taking it out of their jurisdiction. Because your mother put it in their jurisdiction with the birth certificate and the Social Security. When you do the name change decree on the public side, that's you conveying your estate out of their jurisdiction and into your private foreign jurisdiction. So when they try to pull you over and ask you what name you were born with, because they know what sin your mother put you in, you didn't know until you stumbled upon a video. Not realizing why the Albions are so-called profiling you. They're not profiling you because you have brown skin. They're profiling you because they know you ignorant. And they know they can take advantage of you. They can put false charges on you, and you won't know how to defend yourselves. And then, in the midst of them doing all of that to you, guess what happens? You contract an attorney that's under their jurisdiction that ain't got no. Their mission is not to help you.
It's not to help you.
It's just to convey, because a power of attorney is what? What's a power of attorney? You're giving them authority to administer your estate on your behalf because you're incompetent to do it yourself.
Go get the oil from Talia.
Which is why your attorneys never do anything for you. They never remit to, because they're agents of the state. They're all agents of the state. And they're all attorneys. So who is compromised? The prosecutor? The public defender's office, the so-called judge who's supposed to be impartial and unbiased. Well, they're all in cahoots.
Cahoots together. And
then when a corporation wants to have access to your estate, guess where they go? They go to the county to go file a claim. They go to the county to go file a claim so they can get a judgment, so they can get access to your estate because you won't do what you're supposed to do. By claiming your estate, learning how to run it, and being in honor. And if you do have a contract, challenge it. That's what the writ of discovery is supposed to be. And that writ of discovery on the website is way too long to challenge the validity of a claim. Like, all right, look, if you're saying that I violated and I breached the contract that we have, please present that document for the record so I can discharge it. So I can settle that matter, because if you're saying that if there is some type of claim that you have against me that's contractual that I already agreed to, please present that contract for the record so I can verify that it actually is valid and lawful, and then discharge and then handle this so-called claim against you. You got 5 business days to provide that proof. And if you can't provide proof that we have a binding contract, then you need to dismiss this. You need to withdraw your claim against me. And this is notice of intent to lien you in 5 business days if you don't get it done.
That's right.
That's what a writ of discovery is, y'all.
That's right. When
anybody claims something against you, they're going through that so-called county because that's where your estate is right now currently being held because you've never claimed it. And all these Moorish merchants that want to tell you, oh, we don't do that. We don't know how to do that. What? It's the www.moorishamericanconsulate.org. That's the website of this said government. Yeah, we can put this, but it don't have the thingy like that. I mean, it's kind of tiny.
I know.
So, well, it's showing it backwards. Fatima's business card. I know it's showing it to you backwards. We're going to put these business cards on the website. I don't know what to do to create this, but you have to claim it. Mm-hmm. You have to claim your estate. And the reason, like I said, the reason they go to the county is because those are the individuals authorized to administer your estate because you've never claimed it. After your mom gave birth to you, she never told you anything about it because she didn't know.
Herself, that's right.
Now, ignorance of the law is no excuse. You can't run into court and say, oh, I didn't know my mom did that. I refute it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is what it is. You have to claim your estate.
And they know.
They know what you don't know. What we just came to the realization they've known all along. Mm-hmm. That's why when you first go into a tribunal, they want to confirm you are the authorized representative of that estate. Mm-hmm. And the way they ask to validate that information is, what's your name?
What's your address?
What's your address? What's your date of birth?
Mm-hmm. Can I reach you?
Those three are confirmations that they need not only for jurisdiction, but to validate you are the authorized representative of that estate. Not to mention the phone, the fingerprints, the blood they take, as well as the hair follicles. Like they take all that stuff from you. But go understand, they already have who you are when you were born because they took your blood and your footprint and all that when you were born. So they already know who you are. They're just validating the person that came in with that claim under that so-called ens legis is the authorized representative. And all these Moorish merchants out there trying to tell you ain't got to do nothing but nationalize and put your adverse claiming is trying to keep you in a service need so they can benefit from you. But you don't have to pay for these services. All those documents are available on the website. But if you won't do it for yourselves and you need somebody to help you do it, well, that's where you have to start paying. And you should want to pay somebody else who's helping you do something, but just make sure you know what they're doing. If you're going to contract for that service. But Moors, y'all got to understand, y'all coming from a corporate mindset.
Yes.
This is a government.
Yes.
This is not a corporation. You can't sit here and send us mail and then 2 days later ask us if we've received it. Well, you got the tracking number. You tell me if it came. Or how about this? Don't contact us until at least a week after we've received it. Because 9 times out of 10, if you, Islam.
What does that taste like?
Oh, I like that.
What is this? Peach mango? Does it taste
She done
like
told me it already.
I'm sorry.
Does it taste? Does it need more mango?
I like it. I taste more peach than mango.
Yeah.
So you have to get your merchant abilities up. All the jurisdiction talking, they seem to all know. Yeah, they do all know. Everybody knows.
That's right.
But the Moors is the only one ignorant towards it. Everybody that comes over from other countries know it. Juice. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's all natural juice. There is a sister, Tamani, who creates natural juices, and because of all the COVID nonsense, y'all need these tonics. Y'all need to be getting natural juices that are alkaline so your body can defend itself from all the attacks that it's getting through the service corporation, because they realize y'all all are waking up and now they're trying to knock off as many people as they can.
Yeah.
And they are.
That's what they're doing.
Right? And we can't be concerned with that, because anything man-made, you can cure yourself from. If you weren't born with it, you can cure it. You just got to alkaline your body to be able to take care of those things that come into its purview. Not be scared to not eating pork. Not be scared to not, doing all these crazy things that we do to ourselves to assist the so-called virus to take you out. So sometimes we got to do a little changes as it relates to that. You understand what I'm saying? I was like, so know the difference between the Moorish merchants and the Moorish government. Understand the purpose of what the Moorish Science Temple of America was established to do. And realize that a lot of our people don't even know the difference between incorporated. What does incorporation mean? What does incorporate? Incorporate. Corporate.
That's right.
That means you're under. Huh? What? The labels? That means you are under somebody else's jurisdiction to be incorporated. And whoever you incorporated with, that's the jurisdiction that you are under. So if you incorporated under the so-called corporate states, well, you can't grant titles of nobility. And the only thing you can do is teach nationality, but you can't grant it because of the way you established yourselves. So all I'm saying, Moorish Science Temples of Americas who have incorporated, terminate your incorporation. Are you willing to do that? All it takes is an actual document called Termination of Corporate Charter under the so-called state of, let's say, Chicago, for instance. And then you say, we, the Moorish Science Temple of America, based in Chicago, corporate territory, are sending you notification of our unincorporated status. Now, we are disassociating ties from you. And I'm saying this in a nutshell. This is what you need to say.
Look over there.
What y'all looking for?
The labels.
I saw them somewhere. I don't know.
I did too.
We need more paper anyway. So when I say these things, don't get mad about
They're
it.
in
Terminate your corporate affiliations.
the
Put your declaration of organizations out there to be noticed to everyone. And that's only called your articles of organization. So if your articles of organization say you incorporated, well, that's what you did.
You incorporated.
Don't get mad at us because we didn't. Why would we sit here and declare and proclaim our nationality and then nullify it by incorporating? That makes no sense. And don't get mad at me for pointing that out. Get mad at yourself for sitting here warring against your mothers, which is a very, very ill-advised position you're taking. Because we're here to do what we have always been supposing to do. We always should have been doing this.
That's right.
The mothers need to stop acting like they are second to their sons. You absolutely are not.
You had them. They didn't have you.
Exactly. They come through wombs. Just like you come through wombs, but you are a creator. Because you are a womb man, you are a creator. So you are the one that creates.
You are the master builder.
You are the sovereign.
No. You are that master builder that they're talking about.
Yep.
Because you create without the use of a hammer and a nail. So you are what they're talking about. And, brothers just got to understand that.
And I get mad about it. You come from royalty. You come from the creator. So what you pissed off about? I would love to know. Because when we were over in Kemet, guess who was sitting next to the king? His mother. His mother gave him that title. Where you thought kings came from?
That's right.
Where do you think they came from? Who had to have a king? A queen. Since we want to use these little titles. So in order for you to get that...
Queen.
So I know, right? Because that's a whore, right?
Who wanted to be the empress?
Right. You had to be born into that, right?
That's right.
And only the mothers could birth those, right? Even though, you sit here and watch these shows, these TV shows, that try to act like, all a man had to do was have a baby by a maid, then that maid's baby became the baby of the queen, and then became an emperor. They trying to steal your power, as always. What else did we need to talk about on this platform?
That rhetoric
What rhetoric?
of that dude. Put his ass on.
Do you want to put? And when you feel as though, like,
I don't
okay,
have them.
we get Moors that sit here and say, "Oh well, we think y'all are injuring people," and when people sit here and make claims against us, we tell them to validate it. We'll validate your claim. Because every Moor that contacts us to complain about a thing that they're doing, guess what they say? Oh, well, I didn't finish tier 1, and I don't have my trust done, and I already had something pending that I started and manifested in my own life prior to nationality. So Moors are already going through things before they even declare and proclaim their nationality. And because they're living in a state of fear, in a state of ignorance.
In a state of emergency.
Because they're already doing things.
That's wrong.
So when we create contracts, we have to live within the contracts we create. Or terminate them. Right? You can terminate a contract But you have to look at what you signed, and you have to do the writ of discovery, and you have to do all of those things. But before you want to start challenging contracts that you currently have, get past tier 1 and 2 at least.
Get your trust done so you can put everything that you own inside that trust and file it.
Right.
Once you file it, it stands as law.
Right.
Don't let nobody tell you otherwise, because it's not true.
And then before a situation even turns into a claim against you through those fictitious corporate entities.
We don't have no more of them label things? Yes. Where they at? You said we don't have no more?
So what am I trying to say?
So why would you say yes?
When you want to challenge a mortgage, let's use this as an example. When you want to challenge a mortgage.
No, it's not. I'm talking about the label thing.
The first thing you do is do your writ of discovery. Call in the contract. I'm using this as an example.
Put on top of
Before you want to sit here and challenge your contract on your foreclosure or rental or anything, get past tier 1 and 2. And when I talk about tier 1 and 2, I'm talking about on the private side, declare nationality. On the public side, do your name change decree. Click on tier 2, declare your trust, as well as do your Moorish travel documents so you don't have issues on the road. Or on the roads, as well as your security agreements. That's all tier 1 and tier 2 actually. So now you're getting through 3 tiers, right? Do that first. Get it done and recorded.
No, get it done. Get it apostille so it stands as
part
law.
of being a done.
Okay, because most people are saying, "Oh, you don't get no apostille on your documents because that puts you back in the corporate capacity." No, the hell it don't. No, it don't. No, it don't. It's just what you're saying is law. That's what it means.
And you're getting it apostille so they can push it out there throughout all of the so-called agencies to let them know, okay, here is a Moor who established their trust. So yeah, they're coming to get their stuff. Pretty much is what they're saying.
Yep.
And the reality is, you should have already did the name change decree with the court, with the county, while you're in the process of doing the trust documents. So it's going to all coincide. So when they try to put a claim against you, well, how are they going to put it when you've changed it, when you've claimed your estate, changed the name, and now they can't put no fictitious claim on the old ins legis because it's no longer there because you did the name change decree.
And that name change decree, once you do it, take the file number off of it and put it in your trust.
Because
that's
all
your
yours.
ownership.
It's all yours.
You
and this is
it.
This is putting you over all those so-called corporations that were established using your estate. Is now you're the first secure party creditor, meaning they don't get paid until you get paid. And if there is nothing, they get nothing. Because you are the secured first party creditor, meaning nobody get paid before you. First in line. And you the first. You are literally the first. Right? So get those things cleared. Get the EIN number from the Internal Revenue Service, which is under the Department of Treasury, which that is your estate. That is your money, if you want to call it that. That is your credits. That is your estate.
Come on.
Right?
Where my jacket at?
So when you finally do your name change, when you challenge the mortgage with the writ of discovery, well, now you're literally saying, okay, look, you're claiming that we have a contract, right? That we have a contract that I owe you, let's say, $100,000. Still, and the mortgage was me putting up.
Leah! I'm right here.
The mortgage was me putting up the domicile as collateral. Well, if you overstand trust law, if you overstand UCCs, if you overstand, you purchased that through your estate. And that so-called, and the mortgage was satisfied as soon as you gave them that promissory note. As soon as you gave them the promissory note, they went and claimed it through the Secretary of State, through the Federal Reserve banks, and they got the money for it, and they never discharged the mortgage. They never satisfied it, let's say, but they already got paid. And they know they already got paid because it wasn't the bank. The bank is just a third-party interloper. They're just a segue, meaning when you gave them the right to, okay, I need $100,000 credits. This is what you ultimately said. Oh, I need $100,000 credits from my estate in order to claim or to convey this property into my trust. So when that happened, you gave it to the bank. The bank sat there and went through the treasury, through your Sesquive V trust account, if you want to call it that, your QSIT number, which is on the back of the birth certificate, and the account number, which is on the back of the Social Security card, and they went and got the credits to pay for that domicile that you just conveyed into your estate, which is the all caps ends legis, which was currently being run by the county. And this is where the fraud comes from, where the county's complicit and all of the corporations that were established and licensed under them are also interlopers that never needed to be established for you to contract services. This is the Albions putting on top of our government, this corporation, and created all these other sub corporations with their so-called family members that they got through either marriage or lineage or whatever. The Albions played y'all. The Albions played us with our own stuff. They played us, and now all our people is scared to claim their stuff back. Because they're scared and they live in fear. And that fear is information that they thought was lawful and accurate were lies. And because Albions are going to spend whatever they need to spend to create whatever they need to create to stop you from taking your stuff back from them that they never had. They were holding. And they even get the job. They weren't even supposed to be holding it. Because like I said, what was supposed to go down is just like they say, your signature is it. It is. You put your autograph down there on the document. They're supposed to send the credits to that so-called individual that you're claiming the lands from. But you never needed to have to claim any lands from Albions, because the Albions they don't have any titles or nobilities. They only have deeds of interest of those fixtures upon the land. Fixtures upon the land, because the land is ours. So their interest in those so-called deeds is for the fixtures upon the land, but the land is yours, and they never paid you to utilize or access it, because Federal Reserve notes it's not payment of anything. That's a violation of the Constitution. They're supposed to be paying in gold and silver. They're supposed to be paying you Moors when you're working for them in gold and silver. They ain't been paying you. But they've been charging you all sorts of things because you didn't know how to discharge those debts.
Yeah, the Albion can only have a deed. He can never have title.
The Albion
can't own nothing.
He can't own a thing because he is not heirs here. He is here under indentured service contracts to provide stipulated services to the Moors, the American people. That's all he's here for. He wasn't supposed to bring his whole family. It was only him that was contracted to do business here. Not him, his wife, his children, their children's children. They're supposed to be over wherever the heck they come from. Not here. Mooching. They're here mooching off of us, and we sitting here fighting for the scraps.
No, we're over here fighting each other. That's what we're doing.
For what? Why are we fighting? Why are you fighting me? Why are you sitting here contacting us trying to say we're not doing something when we're doing what everybody else is claiming to be doing but not doing it? And don't sit here and say that, oh, we're part of the Moorish American consulate. We can nationalize people, and then they send their documents here, and we got to refuse them because they're not contracted with us they're not commissioned by us, which is a contract, to provide those stipulated services to you as this Moorish government.
And
so let them validate it.
And they come here all lowercase letters in all red writing. And you know what? I got a letter. You want to hear my letter? You send your stuff here like that, it's going to get this letter. You're going to get this letter. It's going to say...
It's a blank one. You got one in the back.
What the what? Hold on. It's going to say this real nice. It's going to be real nice and sweet. Ready? We cannot record your nationality documents with the Moorish National Republic Federal Government Northeast Amexem Territories and Dominions and unincorporated Moorish Sign Symbol of America because your documents were not properly completed. We are not affiliated with the Moorish American Consulate Southwest, which processed the enclosed documents. These changes to the format and structure of the documents were not authorized by the judiciary members. As I, Sharon Tracy Gale Bay,
now Yeshua Nakasha Elrose Bay,
needs to be updated, would not have voted to make these changes and is not proper use of English language. If you wish to complete your nationality documents the correct way, please visit the government website at www.moorishamericanconsulate.org. Click the grid page, Tier 1. The proper documents can be downloaded. Paxek Tamor, Supreme Judiciary Member. That's what they'll get.
As well as Moors that go through other Moorish merchants that are not commissioned to give great titles of nobility.
Anytime you have facilities calling us to get people out of their facilities because they've been on our website and tried to find them on there and couldn't find them, so they call us and ask us, do they have a MAC number or a recording with you? I don't think nobody else gets that. If we wasn't the government, we wouldn't get that call. Or this one. There's a Moor to try to use some type of papers that wasn't authorized through the government. Could you tell them that they can't use these documents? I like that one. That one comes many, many times. So, if we wasn't a standing government, they wouldn't be calling us. That's all I'm saying.
And you got to overstand, Moors. If you read the articles of organization on the website, it's right on the homepage. They're following directives that have been laid out.
Grammatically correct.
One of the directives was this. A Moor is one recorded by a government. And for this particular government, we have a constitution. That constitution talks about what our territories and dominions are, which is why we put territories and dominions. What the service corporation is authorized to do and what they're not authorized to do. Mm-hmm. And if they meet Moors on the road, they're to release them. If they have documentation from this said government, because we organized ourselves as a government and we sent our declaration of our articles of incorporation as a sovereign theocratic government to the Secretary of State so she could put it out there because that's what their purpose is. Right? To let you know that there's a standing government. So now that actually nullified any so-called service corporation claiming to be doing things for us. That's what that did. Nullified them. Terminated their contracts. Why are we terminating? Because they ain't acting right. They're not abiding by the laws. They created the so-called United States Service Corporation that was not authorized to be created. It's a violation of the Constitution for the United States of America, which is why everything that they do is in a private capacity, not a public. So if you want to contract with them, that's your right. I'd advise illy to do that because what have they been doing to your people since they've been in office? Genociding you. Destroying your communities, using your own people to do it.
Yes.
No Albion calling into your community to do it. It's your own people who get in these so-called church facilities, in these so-called temples facilities, as well as any whatever you want to call it. They get these Moors to handle you.
Now.
So that's why now all of a sudden you seeing all these Asiatic movies. Now all of a sudden you seeing all these Asiatics being appointed to their infrastructure.
You cry, you going to bed.
Why do you think they're doing this? Like we told you in the beginning, this fight is between Asiatic and Asiatic, and the Albion is standing in the wings looking to see who wins. And the only people that's going to win is the Moors, because that's the only time.
Going to do it today?
Yeah, right.
Kind of shit weird.
And the crazy part about it is you Moors out there are falling for it. You're falling for it. We ain't falling for it. We know what they're doing. And we know when a Moor comes this way and they've been here for 6 months and they did nothing. Well, we know they're agents. Moors, you got to realize you have to be a part of your own liberation. There's not going to be no secret freaking military force from another country or another dominion or even in space that's going to come here and save you. It is you in your activity that's going to save you and your children. And if you really do care about your children like you claim, you're going to do what you need to do. What's it say?
How does the word of function or affect the meaning of in the title? Well, you're not going to use the word title. You're going to use titulus. You can go look that up in Black's Law Dictionary. Titulus, okay? Allodium titulus is what you need, okay? And of don't mean nothing.
I know people get stuck on of and for.
It don't mean nothing.
You know, our people like to haggle on little words and not realize the bigger picture in a lot of things. And how you declare yourself is how you will be treated. So if you declare yourself as a incorporated entity, well, they're not going to tell you, oh, you got to do it this way. They're not going to give you the truth. What
is that?
I don't know. He wants to be added. He want to come on live. Victor. Hey, go ahead. I don't know. Is he a Temple more?
I don't know. Don't care.
Oh, he said he was mad at you?
No, I said the truth is truth. If you can't handle it, get out the kitchen.
So we don't necessarily feel. Oh, here we go.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
I've been with you for since 2018. I just want to say thank you for everything you've been doing, everything you teach. I've checked back on all the references. And just like I do with my people work, I ask people to find something wrong. I have not found anything wrong. And anytime I found something that I wasn't sure about, and whenever I set something in, seems like someone studied, made corrections, you guys have been doing correct. I thank you. Peace and love. Pass it more. That's all I wanted to say.
Islam.
Islam.
Peace and love, baby. That's beautiful. Thank you for that. Definitely. Whenever we do have updates, we always immediately put those on the website. There's always been some updates right now. Some of the updates that are going up there is for Tier 5 for the birthing of our Moorish children free and allodially. And we have to say we have at least about 5 recorded Moors that have not gone through the corporation. So we give kudos to those 5 mothers who
we just got one.
Did what they ought to have done, did what all of our mothers ought to have done. Never put them in the service corporation's territory, whereas though you don't have to necessarily worry about any attacks coming from them as it relates to your children, because you don't need to claim them. You don't need to change anything because you never put them in that state. I was like, so I implore you, Moors, that actually have done that. I was like, but yes, Tier 5 is being updated to give mothers more resources for creating their children, and not even if you have to go to a so-called facility because you feel more comfortable with birthing your child in a controlled environment, realizing that you need to put your birthing plans in place, as well as to make sure they know your child is not going to be registered with the corporate state. And as long as you know you're going in there with that, and they know you're a Moorish American national when you're going in there, you should have no issues. And we've had several Moors who went through that process and did not have any issues going forward.
And we have a sister on our judiciary that is a doula.
Absolutely.
We don't like to use that word. She doesn't like to use that word because of the fact it means slave. But at the end of the day,
midwife. Don't want to say that either.
Don't want to say that either. So birthing coach.
There you go, birthing coach.
She is here. She's going through her classes, and she's going to do this thing.
Yep.
So
to help Moors become competent in realizing before there was any hospitals around, you were squatting and birthing your babies.
And Moors, I'm going to show y'all something, okay? We know that the mailing system and everything here on the land is ours, right? But people are starting to be a burden, okay? I don't know if y'all see that.
No tax per Q, y'all.
Tax per Q is out of the question coming through New Jersey. It's one of the original 13 colonies, and they don't play that. Okay? So every envelope that we get that we have to pay for, we're going to charge y'all.
Absolutely.
Okay? Because you're not giving to the government, you're taking away from it. All right? So I don't know if you can see your appellation. Well, there ain't no appellation on here. But stop doing this.
Because we're going to push it right to y'all.
It's not correct.
And the reality is we should have just returned it.
Okay? That's what's up.
It's long to you.
So, get back on this. Stop doing this.
Please, tax
don't
per
do this.
Q. Do not send us tax per Q documents.
No.
If you send us tax per Q documents, we're either going to send them back or we're going
Yeah,
to charge you the fee we had to pay to acquire it.
Because if Justice Tahir goes over there, he's gonna send it back.
Yeah.
Just gonna let
'Cause
you
he's
know.
gonna
He don't
go
play.
to the
He don't
post
play that for us. You know. So
And we shouldn't be a burden to our government. We have to realize it takes finances to get where we are going, and y'all should be donating on a monthly basis anyway to make sure our needs are being met, so we can continue to do the work that we're doing in uplifting fallen humanity. Because understand, we've got so much on the plans. We need support as it relates to volunteership. We need support as it relates to financial donations coming from the Moors that are nationalizing through this, because we provide this stuff and this is what we do. And we're not asking for anything that you ought. What's that? What is the website, please? You want to type it in there?
yeah. I don't know how to use your thing.
Oh, wait, no. No.
Chat.
There it is. There you go. There it is right there.
Okay.
So that is the website. It's going to eventually be a .gov, but we're so busy, it doesn't even matter what the website says to me at this point. It doesn't matter to me.
It's
One
so much
iota.
stuff.
It's so
Oh my
much,
gosh.
so much administrative things that we're doing. Like, I mean, to give examples, I mean, like, what can we say? We do nationalities all day. We do administrative documents. I do some private consulting for Moors as well, who just don't have the time, or they try to act like they don't have the time to do it.
Hold on. Lowercase lettering. This is the last time I'm gonna say this.
That's Scimitar Bay. He know better.
Lowercase lettering, writing in all red, is bleeding your body out. That's number one. Lowercase lettering is taking you back down to the slave status. And believe it or not, if you want to believe it or not, that's what it does. And 10-1, you have so many people calling us because they've got hooked up with this. What is this? Okay, hold on. You got so many people hooked up. Go sit down, Yura, for right now. Go sit down. With this red writing, I don't care what they saying on their little calls or meetings that they're having. Put that back. No, put that back. That's not ginger. That's the ginger shot. I gotta feel the things. The ginger is on the door and the glass bottle with the black top. Yeah, shake it. Shake it. I wish Taj and them would tell the truth about this lowercase lettering. I'm going to just put it out there. Back in the day when we first started going to the round table, we used to have these kind of talks all the time. Yes, they're very good too. I don't care. Yes, you're in. The lowercase lettering takes you back to servitude. So why would you want to go back down to servitude if you came from there and freed yourself? That's all I'm saying. But, to each his own. Don't send no lowercase lettering in red to us because it will get turned back to you.
What about those other Moorish merchants that are nationalizing too?
Huh? You already talked about it. So I'm just saying, y'all do what y'all do. If y'all want to do that, then don't send it here, because like I said, it will be returned back to you just as fast as you sent it. Yes, it does. Sorry.
What did you say?
She said, wow, does it? I said, yeah, it does.
Moore's Law.
We get calls all the time from these policy enforcers, and especially when they get put into the POW camps, they call us and ask us, is the writing right? Is they supposed to be writing in red writing like this? Is something wrong with them? Are they mentally unstable inside? I mean, come on.
I don't understand what was the purpose of doing that. What was the purpose of creating lowercase red lettering documents? Ask yourself that. I've asked. We already had documents that were fine. So what would be the purpose of you creating lowercase red lettering? And how did you sell that?
Mm-hmm.
You can't sell me on some nonsense, because the reality is I look at what has been being used our whole entire life. And even if we go back, how many years? 1500s, 1400s, 1300s, 1200s, documented documents, none of them look like that.
None.
So I think I'm going to use history that I can validate versus somebody's opinion and one little document that they got off of Scribd versus that has been altered to include those things in the Black's Law Dictionary. Because if you go to the Black's Law Dictionary and you go to that document that's on Scribd that everybody keeps talking about, what's in the Black's Law is different from what's on there, because they added, okay, this is capitis, medium, maximum, and then what was the other one? I can't recall what the actual words is, but in the definition, they're just talking about types of statuses of the people over in Rome. Like if you're in all lowercase lettering, or if you're in, all uppercase lettering, but it doesn't say that. It doesn't say anything about how the word is being used. It's talking about a classification of people. So you lost your ability to be a father or mother, or you lost your estate, or certain things. Talking about capitis, like if we get to their darn dictionary, it talks about capitis. What is the word, Fati? You're not even helping me out. I'm butchering these words, but the reality is it's talking about a loss. Yes, the Holy See with the S. The loss of status in Rome for Romans. But it didn't never talk about all capital letters. But when we talk about capital, what capitis, the meaning of capital, they're talking about the head of the household, capital, right? When they lose certain statuses. And that could be based on being convicted of so-called a crime. Now you lost a so-called status. Just like if you're over here and you go and contract with these albions as a so-called criminal, you lose certain statuses. Like let's say the status within that particular organization, the status of voting within their organization. You got a question? Who's that from? Oh.
Says happy birthday, Daddy and Mommy Princess. We love you.
Oh.
Ayora.
What day is today?
It's the whole month is her birthday. Come here. Only because Daddy is not here. This is for you.
Nolo is not even a part of that, because Nolo by itself, like, I don't really want to go into the details of the different types of Roman classifications, but we're not in Rome. And we determine who we are. And lowercase lettering is a violation of the what is it? The 8 parts of speech. When we're talking about a living being, we capitalize the first letter in your name, so we know we're talking about a person, place, or a thing, a person. And when we talk about persons, we could be talking about corporate persons or natural persons. And in the way you differentiate between a natural or a corporate person is what? All caps or proper English. You know which one you're dealing with. And if you were going to write in all lowercase, well, where's that fitting? It's talking about a thing, right? Because it's not putting that capital on the beginning, so you know you're talking about a living being and not a enslaved individual, let's say, or a subject. Let's just call it what it is. I was like, in learning etymology and learning language and linguistics will assist you in that. Who's the ancient Roman? I ain't Roman. I'm not saying nothing. Go ahead, Fatima, you go with it. If you want to clear me up, I ain't alone.
Okay, you're talking about
That's
He
awesome.
said Latin without Roman numerals.
Can I get a?
Okay,
That looks awesome.
so
Look, I thought I had a straw.
yeah, right.
I need some lemonade. That shit's strong. Ooh.
The lemonade is right there. You
I
passed
didn't
it
feel like
3
jumping
times.
over this thing.
Anyway, okay, so Romans without, you are the ancient Europeans. You gotta clear that up. You're not Roman. You're European. Euros. There's plenty of us that's Asiatic that came from that area before the
But I
Albions.
know I did.
Okay, so you're not a Roman. Romans are Romans.
They're Europeans. No, I mean those are
those,
Albions.
those are the Albions. The Romans are the Albion. So, yeah, what do you want?
We were fighting against the Romans.
What do you want?
What are those?
Strawberries. Cantaloupe. I'm sorry.
Something else we need to talk about here
I'm
today.
sorry. That's
That's really gooey like you.
whatever. Yes.
Everybody hit this up.
I don't want to get me now.
What else we need to talk about?
We calm down now.
Yeah, I'm calm. So when I get calm, I want to go to bed. Let me stop. Yeah, definitely study more and understand that.
I got some books that you can get. I'm gonna start with one that's very good. Oh, hold on.
Ooh, ooh.
The strawberry is the delicious thing.
We're gonna start here. Y'all want a good book? I'm gonna give y'all one. Y'all ready?
I'm gonna read it because it's backwards.
It's the history of the Moorish Empire in Europe. But you gotta realize where Europe was. Okay. Y'all can get it. It's a 3 series. This is volume 1 of 3. All right. So get it, y'all.
She'll post a picture of that on the social platform.
And then there's another one. You have, what else is up there? I got so much book. What can I tell them?
Oh no, they need to read some. Oh, hot, yeah.
The Ancient and Modern Britons. That's a good one also.
We did start a book like books to read and the erudite lessons. We need to update that. Maybe I can put more Fatima with all the books because she got books for days.
I got books for days. Who's that?
Augie?
Hey, baby.
So, overstand Moors. While we cut this short because we said a lot, I don't know what else to say, but just learn and gain the knowledge and hold Moors accountable. Hold Moors accountable that create schisms, that the schisms that they create. Validate their organization. But like, all right, well, how did you structure your organization? Are you a government or are you a Moorish merchant that's under that is incorporated? And if they're incorporated, all they can do is teach about nationality, but they cannot give you nationality because that's a violation of their charter and their agreement through their incorporation, as well as to realize this is a sovereign theocratic government. We are authorized as Moorish American nationals to create titles of nobility. We are the supreme judiciaries, me and Fatima, and we have a host of consuls and 2 territory judiciaries as well. And we've established ourselves as a government. We have a constitution, and all of this information is on the government website, the www.moorishamericanconsulate.org. The grid is here to assist you in liberating yourselves from the jurisdiction of the corporate United States because it's not doing you any justice. And let's all unify and bring ourselves together to get these Albions either off our lands or operating at law. If they're not going to be in harmony with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, or the supreme laws of the land, then they got to leave. That is the only thing that I have to say towards Albions, because the reality is there is no such thing as a so-called white status as it relates to them, because they are not free white persons. And what's the other word that I wanted to say? Oh, she went to go get some books. Did you go get books?
Yes, I
She went to go get
did.
books.
Y'all wanted to be on my level. Okay, so we have another book. It's called The Jews and the Muslims in the British Colonial America.
Yeah.
Hey, Hoggy.
Please stop.
Okay. All right. So that's how it looks. Sorry if it's backwards. But it's the Jews, Muslims, and British Colonial America.
Who's the author?
The author is Elizabeth Chadwell Hirschman and Donald N. Yates. Okay, that's another book. That's a good one.
And also realize that, not to cut your wisdom, look, on the book it shows you the original Republic Constitution flag. Now that other one with the 50 states, that's corporate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you know that's a corporation. They're talking. This is talking about the de jure government,
Yes, you get
right?
Cool.
It has the circles of the
Cool. Pick up the
13,
chocolate and throw it in
the
trash.
13 stars, which represents the 13 brutish Moorish what am I trying to say? Brutish Moorish colonies. Those were Asiatics. They were not Albions. Albions has hypothecated your platform because you left it and decided to be Negro, colored, and black. Okay?
Another strawberry. Great.
Go ahead, Foxy.
Okay. So we have one called the Stolen here you go.
Oh, wait a minute. So individuals, Moorish merchants that got that 50 flag on your documentation, and those documents we have to reject now because you got the 50 flags versus, the 50 stars versus the 13 stars in a circle. That if you wanted to put any actual flag, because the other one's a banner, the 50 stars is a banner, the 13 stars is the British Moorish colonies that came over here to do business, where the Albions were the actual slaves that came over. And we call some of them slaves because they were indentured servants. That's technically they were working off their debt to society over there in the British Moors because of them being criminals, and they had to work it down. That's why they considered that. That's why they were considered slaves. Okay, and I just wanted to make that distinction. So if you're going to put a flag, put an actual flag, not a banner, on your documents that represents our people in the union that was between Moors and Moors. It had nothing to do as it relates to Albions, because they only had the ability to come here to do business as merchants under that constitution, not to create no so-called nation flag, because they don't have that. But I digress. Go ahead, Papa.
The Stolen Legacy is a good one.
Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. George G.M. James. Fatima's going to help me update that book list on the website with all these books, so you can start your own individual study and stop watching so many videos that's getting y'all confused.
Yes. This one right here is the lost Aboriginal heritage of the so-called Negro African American.
Read it. Say it again. Aboriginal Inheritance, Chief Ali. That's the person who did the book.
Chief Amaru. Resolving historical and political and economic identity crisis. Okay, that's another good one. Yes, you did.
I did not. I was just sitting there. I didn't put it in here.
You really did.
I
Before you got up.
No.
The Aboriginal Diet of the Gods, Aboriginal Health Diagnostic Manual. This is also good too, okay? They're by the same two people that did it. The previous book. So these are all good starters.
And understand, the only way you're going to get confidence is by sometimes shutting people out for a little while. Stop watching so many videos. I know you're not used to reading, and so people like to watch platforms so much, but at the same time you nullify your activity and you become passive because you're so busy watching videos, and you're really not gaining, I'm sorry, any knowledge really because you're not doing the independent study that those videos most likely will push you towards, right? Because on Tuesdays on our platform, on Tuesdays we do free. Right now we're doing the Dred Scott case, and we it seems like we can never leave this case because it's so profound and the information is so far-reaching that I'm even willing to sit there and read that whole freaking case on a 3-part series just so you would read it, because it is insanely beneficial so you understand the status issue of our people, us sitting here trying to repurpose and relabel ourselves every, let's say, 50 years, as opposed to declaring and proclaiming our nationality. And there it was schemes created to keep you sitting here moving from one status to another status to another status, but I mean title, let's call it, or name, let's call it, but you never moved your political retardation. Is that what it's called? Political retardation?
I don't know about that.
I don't know what to call it. Like your legal disability. Let's just go there. Your legal disability. None of these new names that we called ourselves over the times fixed our legal disability. The only thing that's going to fix your legal disability is you stop acting like you can keep calling yourself anything you want to call yourself, but claiming your nationality, which ties you to the land, which is your Moorish bloodline and birthright. Islam. With that being said, there's nothing else that I have to say today, anyway. But like I said, I'm doing a clubhouse meeting on Thursday next week, 7 p.m. Because I recently did a clubhouse question and answering session on Wednesdays on a brother's platform, and it was a very insightful platform. And I think you need more. I think we need more positive information as well as more direct information as it relates to what you ought to be doing, as opposed to people creating platforms in order to get your money, in order for you to take a class, which they don't even express what it is that they don't even have a syllabus to tell you what you're getting.
And you, by the end of the 12 weeks that the class is over,
You still don't know.
You don't still know how to do anything.
So stop taking all these classes. I'm just gonna say that. Y'all got to sit down and read and research and do your due diligence. And if you just stay strictly to the grid, because that grid is a manifestation of everything that we've done that's been beneficial to us, and understand that you need to stop looking outside of yourself for the answers, because the answers are within. And I mean that. Everybody, all Moors are looking for the path of least resistance, I think. You're looking for the path of least resistance because you don't think that you're going to be challenged. Absolutely, you're going to be challenged. The question is, are you going to be man and woman enough? Because I'm saying, when I say man, I'm thinking both masculine and feminine energy, because it represents you both. So when I say man, I mean both women and men, or males. I'll call it that. Because men means many, women and men. And then man means just one woman or man. Woman or male. You know what I'm saying? You see how men have hypotheticated that word? So we only think that it means them when it means us both. Islam?
He's talking about Judge Taney.
Judge Taney.
Taney.
Damn, I missed it. What? I know I'm hearing a lot about that platform as well. So yeah, I'm on the platform. It will be the first class that I give, or question and answering that I give, to set the record straight, to have a more public persona for the younger Moors to gain access, because the reality is the younger Moors wants to fix the problems. The older Moors, I think, are just complicit, and comfortable in subjugation, in my opinion.
Patriarch. Matriarch.
What did he say, patriarch? What did you say that word for?
Devin Williams L.
I can't get it.
I know who Devin Williams L is. I absolutely know who that is. So I don't know I don't know what else to say. We're doing a clubhouse because people go into the clubhouse platform. Yeah, we are definitely matriarchal. There's no such thing as a patriarch, because if it's patriarchal, that means there are no women. There are no women. There are only men, and men would die out in one generation because they can't reduplicate themselves.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as a patriarchal society. There's only a society where the men have hypothecated the matriarchal energy and claimed it for themselves. That's the difference. That's why all these men are running around wanting to be women. But I digress.
That abuse of masculine energy. We'll go there. I'm going down that rabbit hole.
He said the abuse of masculine energy. What are we trying? What Devin is trying to play games right now?
I don't know.
I don't know either because he's just saying little words. I don't know. I'm telling you, like when you look at history, I don't know if it was the cover up or if it's intended. Realize, most of this history does not represent the womb man in any of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the big birthing mother with the big old belly. Like you don't see many statues. Or I'm agreeing with Islam.
Okay.
Islam, because sometimes we just
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Our sons are so used to violating the women, and I blame it on the women because the women are sitting there acting like they're scared and they're incapable. And a lot of you women don't want to do nothing, and some of you are into that whole woman live energy. You want to be in a house with a bunch of women and catering to adopt, catering.
Don't
to
get on the couch. Sit on the floor.
She is on terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Well, we'll see if you eat them. She gonna eat them because they got chocolate on.
Sit on the floor.
So is there any other questions? Because we're going to end this platform. Wait a minute. We follow our DNA as well with the mDNA. I don't know what that means. Mitochondrial DNA? Is that what you're
I
talking
hope
about?
not.
So where does the DNA come from without the mDNA? There's no such thing, right? As you're saying, we follow our DNA as well as with the mDNA. Moorish book merchant suggestions, anyone? I don't know what that means.
We used to have one at the Reading Terminal in Philly, but he passed away.
Oh, he's talking about to purchase books from.
Yeah, but no. We order
We
most
will
of the
be
books
coming up with
off of Amazon.
Yeah, but we will be manifesting on the government website images of Amexem.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be a marketplace where now here's a marketplace for Moorish merchants
There you go.
that have a product or service to offer to the Moorish people outside of nationality, because we're not going to put you there. If you're claiming to give nationality, you should be able to do that on your website. And the only way you'll be on our government website is if you have articles of organization to validate your not in allegiance to a service corporation, nullifying your statuses. So we do have a website page coming up on the government website, www.moorishamericanconflict.org, which is called Images of Amexem. It should be launched most likely next week for Moorish merchants that want to be featured on that page for services and products that they they sell for their for each one of us. So it's kind of like a Moorish Wall Street. It's kind of like that, but it is not that, because it's
You're
not.
going there. You're selling your merchandise. Your money goes to you when they purchase from you. It goes straight to you.
Right.
It's going to be worldwide, so anybody can see and buy your stuff.
Right.
And it won't be on Facebook.
We're moving to an independent platform. We will be moving towards an independent platform where all the Moors that nationalize through this said government will have access to, so we cannot necessarily be on this public platform where everybody's in our business, as well as other Moors claiming to be a part of our government, and they're not associated or affiliated.
Chocolate.
Because Moors are out there just thinking that everybody's one and the same, and they're not. You'll know exactly who's commissioned on the website. We have a console lookup feature as well. So if a Moor says that they're established and they're affiliated with us, they will be on that database lookup as a commissioned Moorish merchant authorized to grant titles of nobility for this thing. I was like, and if they're not on there, they're not affiliated with us. So we open up the lines of communications to any other sovereign Moorish government so we can start unifying together with Moorish governments and nations that have organized themselves under that unincorporated status. Like anybody who's incorporated or chartered through the United States corporation, we can't align with you because you have to fix your statuses as it relates to how you structured your organization. And that's an easy fix by you canceling the contract you currently have with the corporation and redeclaring yourself as a sovereign theocratic government. Then we can all be in cohesiveness, and these schisms can cease to exist. But I always tell Moors, you have to understand, a lot of our brothers and sisters wearing turbans and fezzes are not here to uplift fallen humanity. They're here to create schisms so we won't come together. And it is up to each one of us to gain the knowledge that we need to gain and stop with this favoritism, this popularity contest. It's none of those things. It's about us uplifting fallen humanity, coming together and unifying, because we are going to take this to those individuals to claim our seats, to claim our, what'd you say, Fatima?
I said, that's right.
You understand? And when we talk about the service corporation, they're only providing stipulated services because the Moors are contracting with them in their insolvent statuses as so-called residents. You understand? I was like, you have to, the only way you can be under their tutelage is by being a Negro, colored, and Black person. That is what they established for themselves. But as it relates to the Moors, they have standing contracts with us to provide stipulated services based on the Constitution for the United States of America. And any private contracts a Moor wants to establish for themselves, well, buyer beware, I say. Because if they're not coming through the front door, they're trying to come through the side door. Don't keep allowing them to come through the side door by putting charges against your estate because you refuse to claim it. You got to claim your estate, as well as the estate of your deceased relatives. All your deceased relatives, those estates are still open and being utilized. You need to claim them into your private estates by claiming those death certificates. So you need to go get those from the will of deeds within the county as well. Understand, the county was a place for us, and they were hypothecated. And the Albions are utilizing those services for their benefit. So stop letting them do that. They don't have any land to claim because they don't have any titles, because they don't even have any statuses. And it takes us coming together, unifying, putting those liens on their fraudulent activity and holding them accountable. And the only way you can start holding them accountable is by getting tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 together, gaining the knowledge you need for yourselves and establishing yourselves, and getting on the Moorish American Consulate database so they know that you are no longer a part of their jurisdiction. But getting that clear, but at the very least, get tier 1 done before you start claiming adverse claims for any so-called contract that they're claiming against your estate.
I want to say this because I want to make this clear. When you do that adverse claim and you're not a Moor, already nationalized, recorded, name changed, all that stuff, when you do it and you're not, they're going to come after you. And might not be right then and there. 2 years down the road, you'll have some type of lawyer's office try and contact you. They done looked on your Facebook, trying to get to know who you are. They've done all that stuff. So it's better to have it done and changed than to have it open so they can attach you back to your nom de guerre and make it look like you did something illegal.
And look at it this way. Fatima has a couple of situations where Moors contacted her as it relates to them already claiming, like, well, okay, you didn't change on the public side.
That's right.
I can't remember exactly what was said, but some of these Albions and administrators of these so-called corporate states were like, well, if you did that, you wouldn't be here. It's kind of like the message, because the only way you can be called into this court is if you didn't claim your estate. meaning you left it open for us to put a claim against you.
Mhm.
And now you're here, but also understand they need your consent as the
To do it.
authorized representative to violate you. So because they need your consent, they're going to sit there and keep that open. And they're going to keep it open even if they don't claim, even if they have accepted that, because a lot of them don't want to put in their records that they discharged that for what they discharged it, or dismissed it for what they dismissed it, because they don't want you Moors that still are trying to figure out if you are Moor.
Mhm.
They don't want you to have concrete proof that you're not.
That's
I
just
mean
like
that they had to dismiss it because you're no longer in their jurisdiction.
that's just like my sisters. My sister and my brother, they're all nationalized, right? They only got to the nationalization of it. They haven't done the tiers. They haven't sent it to the locations. They have not done anything with their stuff. So now it comes down to, okay, you want to take over someone's estate, but you're not really competent enough to do so.
Nor
And-
technically in your proper status because you didn't do the name change
Right.
piece. Didn't claim
So
the estate.
now it's like I have to step in and take care of the old business because they can't. Go to somewhere else.
Yep.
Go somewhere else. You don't have to do it in Kansas.
What you mean they won't update your nationality and status? What does that mean? When you say the
They won't-
corporate state
they
of
won't-
Kansas won't update your nationality and status,
They
what
won't.
does that mean?
Meaning they went and tried to put it on record and they won't let them. So go somewhere else.
Yeah, go to another county. Go to another
That's fine.
go to another county. You know, counties are usually like right
Yeah.
next to each other. And file it somewhere else.
That's what
And file it on your government website. Your public notifications can be filed on the website as well, on the public notice page. We have opportunities to put everybody there, as well as a public notification. So if the so-called county is not accepting it, the question is, what are you doing that might be defective, which is causing them to reject it?
I hope it's not all lowercase letters.
No, I think he's here. And if and what is their grounds for not accepting your documents? What is the grounds? You have to ask these questions. And you have to tell them, well, where in the law does it state that? You have the prerogative to accept or deny, because this is a claim that I'm putting out there as to who I am. And I want it on the record for the county. Because their job is just to publish those records. And I actually had a document, I don't know where the heck I put it, but I think it might be on my phone, where it talked about
You
that.
turned in your license and they want to keep it, but they want to keep as suspended. Did you make an affidavit when you turned in your license? I don't know if he's writing. We're just looking at the pen.
Is this because they are acting as fiduciary for it and because they just ex-rel it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know what, see, I don't even know what the
See,
question.
XREL. I hate that word.
I hate it too, really.
Okay,
I
the
just put a state
XREL.
name.
They're never going to X relation you from your old name. I'm just letting you know that. That's why it's important to change the appellation and do not open up new contracts. Some people will follow that what is that letter from the state that they get. They will follow it tooth and nail and send it to the vital statistics and read contract with them. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to keep your name change private now. You do what you have to do to link up the two, the Social Security link and the your trust, your Sesta trust. You do what you have to do for that, but everything else, null and void. He said, no, but I wrote the affidavit they gave to me. What kind of affidavit they give you?
I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Coming from the DMV. What are you doing with the DMV?
Yes to Victor. Put it in the trust and be done with it. Because I don't know about your state, but I know over here they don't want to cash anything without having some type of state ID or passport.
Which is a violation of the law. You know that.
We know that.
Because absence of a nationality, those documents are used absence of a nationality. And this is a part of the responsibility of all the Moors when they do get confronted with that activity, for them to be putting their administrative processes in as it relates to challenging their presumptions through an affidavit as well as a lien, because that's a violation of the commercial agreement. And because they're all underneath the United States of America Incorporated, they are subject to the Constitution for the United States of America as well as the Department of Justice.
Sit down.
That's all.
Safe harbor.
Yes, liens too, yes. Overstand what a lien is a charge against their estate.
Mm-hmm.
So just like they're charging your estate with their fictitious charges and their case numbers and their citations, the liens that we place on them is attacking their estate or their charter. So you're attacking them. You're attacking them because they're claiming to have a contract with you, but they never produced it for the record through your writ of discovery. And under UCC law and all of these contractual law, you actually have to have a contract. You actually have to have proof of that before you can put a claim against my estate. And if you don't have proof of that, and if you fail to answer what you think validates you to have jurisdiction once I challenge it, well, then you're in violation. Right. As well as to their commission. When we talk about their commission as it relates to their office. So if they're claiming to be a, let's say, sheriff or a deputy sheriff.
Even a lawyer.
Huh?
Even a lawyer.
Even a lawyer. So they're claiming to have an authority, right? And that a so-called court gave them, or let's say even a government gave them sanction. Well, that only applies to people within that said government. So for instance, if we talk about the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, let's say we talk about the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the County of Delaware. The County of Delaware. Well, we're talking about people who are so-called citizens of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So in the Constitution, for all other so-called 50 states, it says for the citizens of the Commonwealth, or for the citizens of the state of New Jersey, or for the citizens of the state of Oklahoma, or for the citizens of Texas, or for the citizens of New York, or for the citizens of Virginia, or for the citizens of Maryland, or for the citizens of North Dakota. Well, are you a citizens of these? Are you citizens? They would have to have some type of contractual validation of you being citizens. You want to know what they're thinking that they're using to validate that? You want to know what they're using to validate that? Presumption? Because it's a presumption. They look in their record and be like, well, you in this record. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're not a citizen of the state of, let's say the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, if you're not a citizen of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, well, why, when I type up your ins legis, it comes up. How did your estate get into my jurisdiction to begin with? So that's why they sit here and like, well, what was your name you were born with? That's why they ask that question. Mm-hmm. What name did you go by before you became Yeshua Nakasha El Rose Bay? This is why they're asking this question, because they're trying to find out if you're in their database. Mm-hmm. Okay? Right?
And believe you me, it takes about 10 years to be out of every database.
Of non-activity, most likely. Mm-hmm. Meaning you're not signing up for the new stuff. Mm-hmm. Right? So the count went inactive, or the count got transferred. And the count got transferred through what? Name change decree. The name change decree is getting transferred. So let's say you get married. So you got a marriage contract. So now you done added another third layer to your contract. So now your children are now the property automatically through birth
Of the state.
of the state. And which is why when you go into their hospitals and you have a child, they're like, well, you got to register this birth.
Yep.
And then they try to keep your children if you don't register the birth. Because through the marriage license, you asked the so-called corporate state to administer over your marriage, over your union. So now we're talking trust to trust. So now we're talking about the man's trust, the woman's trust were conjoined. The man has favoritism and that hegemony, but at the same time, the state has ultimate say in what happens between the assets that you come to that you have within trust to trust, as well as any children that are created within that trust to trust. They make the final decision. So when you go and get your name change decree, when you now instead of you being your matriarchal line, now you done adopted or been adopted into that patriarchal line through your consort or your husband, and now you changed your name, making you property of him. That's what you did.
State.
That's what you did. You gave your estate over to your husband to administer, and he can.
Victor, claiming your estate, that's the rules. Claim your estate. And then you'll have all the jurisdiction of yourself.
So whenever you marry and you claim the last name of your consort, well, now he has access to all your estate because you just gave him that. So women, you can't get mad when your consort steals your stuff. Well, you gave him access to steal your stuff. You didn't put a private contract in there, which they call it nuptials. They call it nuptials. Smart people, when they marry into different nations, when they marry into different trusts, prenup, right? That's actually a contract, marriage contract. And that's actually a marriage contract. That all they needed to validate was to get it notarized and get it recorded somewhere. So when you conjoin with someone through matrimony in your Moorish bloodline, if you want to create and establish an actual so-called contract between you two, you can do that and just get it notarized and recorded within your said government or with any other corporate government, and that contract would be upheld.
Y'all will be making a covenant.
Covenant. There you go, a covenant, right? You don't need no so-called magistrate to administer over that union because you're giving that individual authority over you and your estates. You're literally giving it to them through the marriage contract.
And they tell you.
They actually say it in
the
the
power invested in me from the state of
New Jersey. Under them. Which is why you have to register your children to them as well when you have them. Because you made that covenant through the marriage license. Because you overstand it's a marriage license, right?
But you can actually go back and take your children from the state.
Right.
I recommend that.
I recommend it too. Trust me, I recommend it. We need that validation because you'll have other Negro, color, and Black people that are a part of your family try to violate you and violate your children. Because our people have grown accustomed to using each other's children to take care of themselves as opposed to being the merchants that they're supposed to be. Right? I was like, we all see this way too common. How our people during tax season, which is upon us now, where they sit there and sell off their babies' so-called Social Security numbers to the highest bidder. That's your estate. That's your children's estate. You're giving away to somebody else. You're giving them their private information. Well, I've never done that. So anybody who claims that, that's fraud. I'm mom. I'm the authorized representative. I'm the grantor. And I grant who I wish. But it starts with me. Nobody else can have that authority unless I give it to them. You got to understand your power, Morris. And you got to stop giving it away. So you got to claim your estate. And right now, if you haven't claimed your estate, it's under the authority of the county because that's where it was initially given by your mother, who was the grantor. Your mother granted them administrative functions over your estate when she had you. which is why I say fix the sin your mom put you in. That's why I say it. That's why it's there. I ain't saying hate your mom, but just be like, damn, mom, yo, you set me up. I know you ain't know, but you still set me up. And now I gotta fix all this stuff, and you trying to act like you don't want to help me. So now you got mothers, I'm just gonna say this, all over the continent ain't trying to help their babies fix the sin she put them in. Because of their Christian background, because of their Muslim background, because of their temple background. They're choosing all these institutions that never did anything for you.
Ain't supposed to be in.
Ain't supposed to be in. And they trying not to help you talking about I'm Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious? I'm your son or your daughter. You gave birth to me. Like I know a specific woman who says, you gotta leave this Moor stuff alone. Completely shut her son out because he's a Moor and he's claiming that status. And she's not. She's actually from Liberia. African Liberian. But a Christian too. So she's under that dogma spell. Her pineal gland completely calcified. That's what our people would like to claim, but I don't give you that. I don't give you that easy road out. You're in denial, you're in sin, and you're not trying to fix it. And your son is trying to fix it, and you giving them garbage. And it could all be because you don't want them to deport you, but because you are actually a United States citizen. Because you contracted to be it through the rules of naturalization. I know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. It all makes sense. All of our so-called, I call them so-called brothers and sisters from the other African continent, because this is Northwest Amexem. This is Northwest Africa. You are not African. But this continent is Northwest Africa, right? You could be Liberian. You could be from South America, South Africa. I mean, they have so many nations within so-called Africa because all of the continents are African. So understand a lot of our brothers that come from, a lot of our so-called African brothers that come from other countries, they're United States citizens because they did the rules of naturalization. They abandoned their mother countries in favor of a corporate fiction to come here to do business. That's people who are from Liberia. That's people who are here from Jamaica. That's people who are here from all these places because in order to get here, they had to actually contract to become a United States citizen, which is property. That's our brothers and sisters. And they can expatriate the same way we do, through declaring and proclaiming their nationality. But you got to fix the sin first. So you got to fix the sin you put yourself in. So your processes are different because you was actually, no, they're not. They're actually quite the same because you have a so-called EIN number. Which would be what? What would there be? Theirs be a TIN number, an ITIN number? An ITIN number that they get when they come over here under the United States. So you put that, so you, instead of it being a foreign national, like most people who have treaty relationships come over here, they come over here to do business and they're coming over as foreign nationals. So they would get a foreign EIN number and understand the United States of America is a corporation. It's not a country.
So it can never have citizens.
So it can never have actual citizens. It can only have property. So you will have to denounce your actual living being status to be a thing in order to be in that union. Right? So we are all in the same boat. But our so-called brothers and sisters that come from the other African continents, it's not your job to come over here and violate us, your brothers and your sisters, because you're scared you're going to get deported. Well, you do have family over there, you know, and you do also have a nation over there that needs you too. But you can't sit here, come over here and be a part of the problem as opposed to the solutions. Moors, y'all got to stop being scared. I'm just going to say that. Y'all got to stop being scared. Y'all got to stop living in fear. Y'all got to gain some knowledge. And while y'all gaining that knowledge, gain the backbone. But don't fight against me, your sister, who wants to see the best in you and only want to promote that. But don't get mad because I'm willing to do what needs to be done and you're too scared to do it. And this whole hating nonsense, I know you really love me, but all you got is hate right now because that's how the energy you got. We'll change your energy. It's quite easy. Stop thinking that you are a piece of garbage and know that you are more than that. Don't listen to what Albions have been portraying on TV about you as it relates to the things that you see.
And because you can look something up and because you can look something, I'm sorry, I'm trying to eat.
I know, you're tearing it up too.
Because you can look something up on the internet and you think it's right, not knowing that they put stuff up just to discredit you. But you don't have the common sense to call and see if this is correct or false.
And then be in your feelings and call us like we had people call us cursing us out. Trying to anyway. Let me just start there. Because you ain't cursing me out on my phone. I'm just going to start there. And I'm not going to sit here and deal with your damn energy, right? You call me mad. Well, I'm already mad, so you done started something when you called. So I'm already mad. You want to know what I'm mad at? All of my brothers and sisters all over the continent, this one in the other continents, acting like dummies. That's what I'm mad at. I'm mad at the fact that when I get on the phone and I talk to Moors, and this is fucking emotional for me, and you don't even know what you're talking about. This stuff hurts. Hurts me at my core. They have to tell Moors who they're talking to is violating them. Who they're listening to don't give a damn about you. And it's not for me to sit here on this platform to tell you who is doing that to you. You ought to know because you need to deal with your energy. And you need to deal with the fact that ain't nobody coming off of no cloud, off of no spaceship to save you. Only person that can save you is you. By doing what is on those grids, because that grid is a manifestation of many people coming together and doing, not saying, doing. And seeing it work. And getting on the phone with these Moors who automatically attack my root chakra, try to attack my root chakra. I'm trying to get y'all out of just talking about about the things that happen to you and doing something to fight against that. By not sitting here acting like you're less than. You're not less than anybody out there. You are equal to and some above. You got to know the power that you have. Yep. You got to realize that you are awesome, you are beautiful, and you are powerful. And nobody's going to tell you this. And nobody's going to show you this. Because the reality is, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're supposed to see it. And realize there are so many negative Moors out there who are still living in Negro color black mindsets. And they don't realize the spiritual work that they also have to do. And to realize that you are worth it. No matter if your mom ain't saying it, your brothers ain't saying it, your wife, your consort, your children ain't saying it. Don't matter. It matters what you know about you. And stop looking to follow somebody thinking that they're going to pull you up from underneath the ground when all you got to do is push the dirt aside. And you didn't need to hold on to nobody else to do that.
Yeah. That's what I say. We're going through it for y'all, so y'all don't have to worry about what the outcome is. You'll already see the outcome through us.
So we have to make those calls. We have to sit here and stand up. We have to hold them accountable, but we need to make sure we do the follow up. That's the part, y'all. Y'all sit here and put a darn affidavit out there and you don't follow up. You don't make a call. You don't send a default judgment. And then you don't even do the lien. Well, they liened you. Yeah. They liened your estate, trying to get some access to it through that fictitious corporation that was styled and originally used to provide stipulated services for you. But what have they been doing? Taking your people, putting them in jail. Taking your people, putting them in jail to fill the shells of all those corporations. That's what your people are doing in jail. Our people are doing in jail. That's Starbucks. That's Wawa. That's Walmart. That's all these corporations. Slave labor. Through our people in those facilities that they have a right to put them in. And they know that, which is why they call you what on their ticket citations. They ain't calling you a Moor because they know they can't do that to a Moor. They don't have jurisdiction over a Moor because you're not in their database, Moors. So fix it. And let's stop this schism nonsense. Stop acting incompetent. Stop sending these crazy documents that you just scratched out the red and put and wrote in what you needed to write in. And if you have hair salons and barber shops, get a freaking printer in there. All of y'all get printers in there and help your brothers and sisters so they ain't gotta go to Staples. So they ain't gotta go to the law library. So they ain't gotta go to a library because they don't have a computer, or like y'all have to be a part of your solution and not the problem. Start building up those communities. Stop sending your fiat to these people that won't even take your nationality identification card. Why are you going to them for service? Stop going there because they're in violation of law. Our job is to box all these fraudulent corporations from being able to do any business, shutting them down. If they don't want to comply to the supreme laws of the land and the Moors, they gotta go. There's too many of them here anyway. And I ain't just talking about Albions. I'm talking about all y'all. I'm talking about all you other nations that are here profiting off of the ignorance of the Moors, who enlightened all of y'all. Our ancestors enlightened all of y'all. Y'all would all be sitting there still in caves if it wasn't for them. Dying by the thousands because you didn't even know all you had to do is wash your butt in your hands. You weren't dying from no curse. You were dying from being dirty and savage-like. So don't sit here and act like we owe you anything. We don't owe you anything. You owe us everything. So move aside while these Moors study themselves, clear up their pineal glands, give them the room to tap back into themselves. Because your violations are coming to an end. You haven't felt it, you know you feel it. You feel it better than we do. Because we have chakras, we have light, a lot of it, that counteracts that negativity.
It's gone.
A lot of it. We can listen to a song and be completely fine. We don't have to do all of these other things that our people unfortunately are doing that they don't really need to do. Because it ain't that hard for us to come back, because we come from the source. We have a culture that we need to tap back into.
That's the land.
Yeah, ground yourself. Get out there at nighttime and look at the moon. Get out there during the day and look at the sun and root with the earth. Take your shoes off. I know it's cold right now down here. At least you might get frostbite. You just might. Wait till it's at least 30 degrees or more. You go out there right now because I think it's 18. You just might get frostbite if you out there too long. But put your feet in that ground. Put your eyes and to the heavens, Islam, to the sun, the moon, and the earth. Islam, huh? There you go. And understand, that Moorish, that merchant, that is the images of Amexem. We have to get that up. Because Moors need to know what's available in each territory as it relates to support for us. Because we don't want you to go to the library where they keep sitting here shutting stuff off and turning the internet off so you can't get stuff done.
We don't want to have to go to the hospitals to get cures when we have herbologists right here.
Right.
We don't want to have to go to hair salons to get our hairs done. Well, I ain't got none, but you know what I mean. We don't want to have to go to hair salons when we can go to a Moorish house or something like that, or they can come to us to get those services done. It's for and by each other.
Islam.
For and by each other. If we can't be for and by each other, then why are we here? We can't uplift anything without it.
And we're the master merchants.
So
you already know how to do all of that.
Food. You got brothers and sisters that work in the was the food industry. Okay, growing food. You know, we got land. We got land for days. Start a garden. What's up? You know what I'm saying? It goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Need to know what foods to eat that'll help you during this time of attack. And realizing that, who told you that a corporation can cure viruses? Are you insane? You can get a shot in your arm that's going to stop you from getting a disease. Are you mental? You really think that? You really think something that a man can make can cure you or fix any physical ailment you got going on? 90% of the time, all they want to do is cut it out. That's all they know how to do is open you up, cut it out, and hope that works. Realizing that your body will naturally heal itself from any impurities that you got going on. It's going to come out your pores. It's going to come out your mouth, out your nose, out your eyes, out your ears, out your feet, out your yonis, out your undies. You're going to sweat it all out. Anything that's toxic in your body is going to automatically come out because it's not meant to be there. But you got to help it along by eating those things that will help it along. And doing the sun gazing, and doing the moon gazing, and going outside. Like some people don't even go outside. Wonder why are you so mental? Why are our people so adverse to nature? Scared to go outside because they're scared they're going to get bit. Don't realize, okay, put some neem oil on, and you'll be fine when you go out. I know it stinks, but you'll be fine. And then they have other beautiful things. But definitely, if you have salons, if you have any type of businesses, put printers in there and one little computer that they can sign on into so they can do their work. So they don't got to go to these libraries because, like I said, they all getting shut down because I'm done. I know I'm done with all of the disrespect from these merchants that came here to do business under charters to do right by you, Moors, Americans. Because you're the only Americans, because Moorish etymologically means what? What does more etymologically mean? America. I'm talking about America. What does America mean? I don't even feel like going through that darn word. It was posted on a social platform. That's the Indigenous Diet book? Okay. What's the name of it again?
Aboriginal Diet of the Gods.
Aboriginal Diet of the Gods.
Aboriginal Health Diagnostic Manual.
Need to have that on the book section. Fatima, you gotta give me those names of those books.
I have so many books. I never remember all of them. And
well, just we ain't gotta have them all at one time. 10 books a day. I don't know what to say. But those books, some of the stuff, because we need that, huh?
It breaks it all the way down. What you eating, what you're not supposed to be eating.
And Dr. Sabi did a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? When he created his healing center over in Honduras, trying to tap the people back into their nature. And guess what? What's the first thing you really got to do to get yourself out of? You want to put it there? What? Taking a picture?
Okay. Here you go. Go up.
I can't.
Go up. Move it up. Why are you scared? There you go.
Islam. That is the book. Aboriginal Diet of the Gods, an Aboriginal Health Diagnostic Manual. And it's by a full health course. Okay, wait a minute. That's who it's by. That's a long appellation. There you go.
Namaru Nama Taga Xile Muhammad.
That is the book. Islam. That was a great idea. Thank you. So the images of Amexem is coming. So if you have printing in your establishments, and if you want to promote your Moorish businesses on that website, is coming. I'm completing the, let's say, registration of these Moorish companies. So when you do want to be featured on those websites, you all you would have to do is send an email. I think it's tier 9 on the grid, but it's empty right now because we haven't put that that order form up yet. So we'll know, well, who has computers. What I see that
Grandma switch.
That grandma switch. is on. I don't know.
I don't know.
It went over my head? Okay. Because that happens often. People say stuff and I'm like, what is he talking about? Anyway, so we'll be doing it's called, like, if you go to the website on the homepage, it actually has it's an A for Amexem, images of Amexem, and it's in between the calendar and the Moorish database lookup. So right on the website, it's right in the middle, and you hit images of Amexem, and then that would be the page for all of the Moorish merchants that are out there for the services and things that you provide. And we want to eventually create it where as though, okay, well, where is this business? Is it local? So when you do come to town, you can support your Moorish businesses, as well as instead of like going at Staples and all these different places that charge you way too much for printing, you can keep that in-house. So I definitely appreciate the Moorish individual that posted that, but send me an email to moorishamericanconsulate@gmail.com. So if there's any Moors that are in your neighborhood, I can kind of push them your way. And eventually, like I said, we'll have the images of Amexem available on the website for you too. So when Moors want to go and patronize other Moors, that they know where to go. And understand that, please be a respectable, noble practice and not, how our people can get after a while. So I'm just gonna leave that open. But definitely check that out.
Oh goodness.
When Fatima does it,
I gotta
send her a text message. Because this might be.
I gotta gather all the books together, and when I do that, I'll put them up for y'all.
That means we're gonna write all the lists out on the website. Yep, it's on the website. Like if you go to the erudite lessons section, let me see if I can pull it up. I'm gonna sit here and try to pull it up. But like I said, people gotta just have fun at the website. Have fun on the website. In the grid on the calendar when we have our Tuesday classes, we usually, if we had class, we'll put the link to that class on the calendar. So all you gotta do is copy and paste that link into your internet browser, and you can watch the classes that we had on Tuesday past, because we have a question and answering section for the first hour, and the next hour we jumping right into Dred Scott, and we're still in that because Moore's y'all gonna make it. Y'all not getting what they're doing. And I think it's because you're watching too many videos.
It's too many Moors out there talking different things. And I think when you talk too many things, people get a misconception.
And then they just don't do nothing because they don't know what to do because they got so much information. But then do you really? Because once you watch that video, were you able to write down what they said in an actual process? And what they said, was it a process or was it just them talking? I was like, because you'll realize at the end of a 4-hour conversation, if they're talking about a particular document, well, why don't they give you the link to the document on underneath that class so you can stay with them as opposed to you just listening? You understand what I'm saying? Where you going, Fatima? Fatima just tried to run away from you. I'm cold. Are you freezing? Oh man, I'm chilling. Oh, Fatima, them froze her out. So if you go to the moorishamericanconsulate.org website and you go to the erudite lessons page, I'm almost positive it's in this section. Everybody complains about how slow the website is. I was like, yeah, because there's probably a lot of people on it. And the server, they're going to mess up our stuff anyway. So, but I'm not, okay, where is it? Where is it at? Study. All right, so volume 12 has suggested books for study. So if you go to tier 12, volume 12 on the erudite lessons page, there is a section for books of reference. And eventually Fatima will give me a whole bunch of those books, or this is going to be her project so she can get some access to the website and start learning how to do stuff on the website. So and you better not destroy the website. I know I've had to call Kanaz on 2 occasions, like, Kanaz, I don't know where the page went. and he had to restore it. Then I figured out how to do it. So anyway, that's not here and there. So Fatima is going to update the volume 12 on the Erudite Lessons page because there's 12 volumes, and 12 is suggested books. So she's gonna update that list. I only started the list like months ago, but like I said, I do so much that sometimes it takes me a while to go back to other aspects of what I'm working on. Then we also have I thought I put some stuff in astrology. Maybe I didn't put it actually on the website.
You just want to put the calendar up.
Yeah, I gotta finish that because I think I'm gonna do a moon calendar. I mean the sun and then the moon. It's not Tablon. I said Tablon. Tabulon. So I'm done. I'm done. I don't really want to talk anymore. I really don't.
We're tired.
I'm tired. I got a lot of work to do. People always be sitting here sending us so many messages talking about, did you get it? 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 I'd be like, if she called me one more time, my eye be twitching. My eye be twitching.
Can you go
I'd be
sit
like,
down,
oh my
please?
God, what is it doing to me? Can I scrap? What? Can I scrape it? What? Islam.
You can go on there all you want.
Islam. And then Fatima's supposed to be,
Listen.
she was
Listen,
not even
I did.
saying.
Let me tell you what happened, okay? Because yesterday over here trying to play me, right? So I was on free conference call doing the second tier to the trust, and let's just say it didn't save, or I did push record. I did. You gonna leave me alone? I did push record. She trying to say I didn't push record, but I really did push record. I thought I was doing it right.
It probably was Michael Donahue.
Michael Donahue.
I don't know.
Shut up, Yasha.
I just, the Albions be sitting there.
Albions.
They be sitting there slowing down our computer. Microsoft be crashing all the time, and we'd be like, yo, in the middle of a training session, Microsoft will start doing some weird glitchy stuff, and then, little Albions from the counties be calling
Stop
us.
blaming it on people.
I'm just saying. The computer literally say, no, I don't want to do this today.
Yeah,
It'll literally say
that's what it'll be saying, and crash or turn off right in midsection of talking.
Or won't want to print your documents out and say, no, I don't like her today. I'm not lying to you. This literally happens.
Listen, I stayed up until 4:00 to get 2 piles of nationalities done last night.
I was asleep at the same time.
So I'm tired. I'm getting ready to go take a nap. Yashrin can keep talking.
No, I ain't. I'm getting off this.
But I'm gonna go.
I ain't even got no questions, and I'm tired. We was pissed off like 3 days, and we've been meaning to do this video, but life happens and gets in the way, and emergency calls gets in the way, and visitors come, and family members come, so we have to stop and do things and eat. There's a lot of things we got to do in a day.
Yeah, and if sometimes you feel that the phone hung up on you.
Might have.
It might have hung up on you. I might have hung it up. I don't know. One or the other. If you said something stupid when you called, like, where's my fucking documents
She
at?
cursed. Did y'all hear that?
Well, that's what they said to me. I'm just repeating. So if you ever get that call, if you ever called and said, where my fucking stuff at, you getting hung up on. I apologize.
What he say? What Pharaoh say?
Islam Moorish National Brothers
In Charlotte, North Carolina.
and you was need help if you were in my area. Hit me up ASAP. Okay. Go ahead, Pharaoh.
Go ahead, Pharaoh. Try to tag in Islam.
Let me find out.
Islam. Oh, who the heck is that? Who's sending me messages? I'm done today.
So, yeah, in advance, I apologize. I'm just saying.
More send me way too many videos. Y'all really
Me
think
too.
everybody always wants to send videos in Messenger? I don't got time to be watching all those videos. I would never get nothing done. I literally wouldn't. Why don't y'all watch the videos, paraphrase it, and send me the cliff notes? That's what I suggest. But Islam Moors, we're gonna hang up. We're gonna end this national broadcast to the Moors from the Moorish government, the Moorish National Republic, federal government, Northeast Amexem territories and dominions.
And if you're in the area and you want to help out, give us a ring.
Unincorporated Moorish Science Temple of America.
Aww.
Articles of organization on the website as a sovereign theocratic government. not an incorporated entity or a Moorish merchant. However, the images of Islam will be, the images of Amexem will be available for all Moorish merchants that want to sell a product or services, but it will not be for Moors selling nationality who don't even have a government to back them for that activity. Won't be. And with that, I will say Islam. And with that, I will say share this video.
Sweet.
We will upload it on the website. I don't think we're going to put this one on the I don't think we're going to put this on the website, but it will be on the YouTube channel. Islam, peace and love.